The Duke and Duchess of Sussex didn't get a happily ever after, and the real reason isn't all that flaunted. Not really a surprise, considering that they're both part of the royal family, even if Meghan Markle is only there by marriage. We all know how much is really kept under wraps when it comes to the Queen and her personal goings-on. Still, there are enough people willing to spill the beans that we've been able to dig up the dirty details on this once happy couple's not-so-happy divorce. From the Windsor house, that is. This hasn't happened in years. In fact, the last person to give up the crown was King Edward VIII. That was nearly a century ago, when he fell in love with Wallis Simpson. The royal family seems to have a habit of that. Fairy tales are always talking about the princes falling in love with the women of their dreams, and then the two of them going on to live happily ever after for the rest of their days. The reality is a lot more challenging than that. To start with, there are a lot of rules involving who can and can't get married. Prince Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle has been controversial from the start. She's a biracial American divorcee who has no high-class lineage and made a name for herself starring in 7 seasons of the legal drama Suits. No one thought that she was fit to be royal family material, except, of course, for Prince Harry himself. The odds have been stacked against Meghan Markle from the start. In fact, when she and Prince Harry got hitched, she didn't even have any sort of British citizenship. Some reports say that was given to her at a special ceremony on the grounds of Windsor Castle, but it's not entirely true. A lot of people hated the fact that she's not from somewhere in the UK. In fact, it has been one of the most widely contested parts of her character since their marriage was announced. Now, we should take a moment to say that this marriage isn't the first controversial thing that Harry did. You might remember the fact that Prince Harry once showed up to a costume party in full Nazi regalia. Ouch! That one had him in the papers for a while, and under the keenly scrutinizing eye of the media. How can someone that's clearly so formally educated have made such a bad decision? A rocky start, but surely the path afterwards was better? Nope. See, people have been constantly harassing Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, referring to her in cruel terms like gangster royalty and other casually sexist and racist things. The media has hounded her relentlessly, both in America and England. The fact that this is going to be a second marriage for her hasn't helped her popularity any. From Kensington Palace to Frogmore Cottage, their every choice has been scrutinized, ridiculed, and publicized. Still, the choice for them to step away from their roles as senior royals caught a lot of people by surprise. Within hours of the announcement, people had taken to media making wild theories about why the split happened. At one point, people were speculating that it might not have been something that they did of their own will, but rather that the Queen might have forced their hand. This theory has since been firmly debunked by Prince Harry, of course, but that hasn't stopped rumors and gossip on the subject from spreading like wildfire. Prince Harry cited wanting to become financially independent as the main reason, but that's not really the full story. They receive money from the Sovereign Grant, a fund set up by the UK government for royal family official business. This grant is accessible by everyone in the royal family. That's not even counting the fact that Harry gets a 7-figure yearly allowance and investments from his late mother, Princess Diana, and the inheritance that she left to him. 7 figures a year! And then you take into account the fact that Meghan had a large net worth herself and a heavy pocketbook of bills from her time as a very successful actress. Despite the fact that it's been a while since she's been on the big screen, there's no way that she hasn't been investing and saving up her money the last few years. These two aren't going out into the streets with pocket change, no matter how that might be implied. So, if they didn't leave because they were unhappy with the financial arrangements themselves, maybe it's more because they want freedom to spend their millions without a watching eye always peering over their shoulder? That's the current general view, backed by the fact that this break from the royal family also helps stop the press from feeling entitled and being entitled to having such easy access to their lives. Whether they decide to take a private jet somewhere or not is no one's business these days. We should also take a moment here to point out the fact that taxpayers are still funding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's security detail. Just because they aren't senior royals anymore doesn't mean they're suddenly not getting the royal treatment. It just means that they're allowed to pick and choose what reporters are able to access their social media, and they have a bit more freedom over what events they attend and what ventures they can reimburse. Ventures some have been speculating, like social influencer. This is largely due to the website that they've started and the fact that Meghan did used to run a very prolific blog known as The Tig. She shut it down after getting engaged to Harry for security reasons, but there's nothing to stop her from picking it back up, or from the two of them setting out on a joint foray into social media. To some, it seems like Meghan and Harry want to cherry-pick what they're getting out of being part of the royal family. They've managed to find a relationship that was all perks with the least amount of effort, work, and accessibility on their end, and that's made a lot of people angry. The fact that they still profit so heavily off of the royal name, but no longer have to abide by the rules that the rest of the family do, is a big issue. Part of us think, well done. What about you? To others, it seems like an obvious step, considering the treatment that Meghan has received, especially from the Brits unhappy with her American origins. There have been plenty of times when the Queen herself seemed to disapprove of Meghan, creating constant media storms with raging bouts of heckling. There have even been pictures that suggest Meghan was barred from being parts of, and events she has been, supposedly, the only one not allowed to attend. Whatever you believe, the fact remains that they've made their choice. The split is official, and neither party is willing to try and go back on it. In the words of Prince Harry, let them eat cake. Thanks for watching. We hope you have an awesome day. And if you like this video, please make ours even better with a thumbs up, share, and subscribe.